and there will be more to come for sure. And the main topic for this first debate episode will be this one question, which is, will watching the Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Edition change the minds of those who hated or disliked the theatrical edition? That is the main topic, the main question. All right? The debate is going to work like this. There's going to be two teams, Team Blue and Team Red. Team Blue is going to be arguing the positives of the Ultimate Edition, and Team Red is going to be arguing the negatives of the Ultimate Edition. I will just be simply helping out both teams here and there, but yeah. So at the end of the video, go to the comments section and you will see Team Blue, Team Red. And at the end of the video, let us know, who do you think articulated their opinion better? Team Red or Team Blue? Give a like to one of those options. First, let's get to the movie debate. And 1, 2. The debate question is that we will be addressing is, will watching the Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Edition change the minds of those who hated or disliked the theatrical edition? And Team Blue is going to go first, arguing why, what they think the answer to the question is in a positive light. So you guys can go. Let's start with.
How much time we got?
Let's see what you guys do with. Let's try 5 minutes. Let's try that.
5 minutes work. Five minutes works.
All right, let me know when you start.
On 3, and of course, Red Team, please do not interrupt them. All right, so on 3, 1, 2, 3, go.
All right, Jonathan. So, from your personal perspective, we really enjoyed the film in a lot of different regards, from the way it was stylized, the way it was tonally done, and just the aesthetic of just it being so different. Zack Snyder really went for it. But the thing that a lot of people had already said is that there was a lot of flaws in terms of the holes and the plot and the pacing, and just the progression of the movie didn't make sense in a lot of standpoints. It was more for you to infer what this actually meant. And a lot of us actually got it because we understand the source material. It wasn't just given to us like a normal Marvel movie would be.
Right.
But for this Ultimate Edition, most people can say the plot made a lot more substantial sense for them. But I think that we can both agree that anybody that really didn't like the tone of the movie, didn't like the actual style of what Zack Snyder does for his films, they're not going to actually just change their minds right away. They might take things in regards okay, this makes a lot more sense, but I don't think that's necessarily going to change their minds. But those that were kind of on the fence of is this a good movie or is this a poor movie, they can definitely say that the Ultimate Edition is far more superior in a lot of different ways. And I know you can capitalize on the reasons why.
Right, because actually watching the Ultimate Edition, I saw, the differences of the scenes, how everything was prolonged, and we see the differences of what was missing throughout those parts. For instance, the stuff that happened in the desert, the explosion in the hearing, and also I know there's something else missing, but those are the two main things that actually caught my attention.
Yeah.
And of course, when watching this movie on the Ultimate Edition, I didn't understand it, and then I put the pieces together and that's what happened. That's what really happened. Exactly. Especially see what really happened, what Lois was doing throughout the whole movie, because most people thought Lois Lane didn't really have a role at all in the movie. They thought she was there for Superman. But seeing in this version of the movie, we see her actually doing some investigative reporting. This is what she really does. She gets the facts. She wants to know what really happened, and we see that in this version of the film.
And just to capitalize off of that, a lot of people were big fans of Man of Steel. They wanted to see what's the progression of Clark Kent coming off of what he did, what he took responsibility for, not just killing Zod, but the death that was around the area. Even though it wasn't his direct fault, like a lot of people see him that he's the catalyst that brought all those Kryptonians there. And for this movie, like he really wasn't in the theatrical version that much. It was more so a platform Batman film. And this ultimate cut, you find out there are so many different things. Of seeing him with as far as being an investigative journalist, of actually going and actually having emotions, calling and talking to his mother, and actually even feeling like when he actually comes out of seeing the destruction that happened at the courthouse. Like he looks around and sees all these dead bodies around him and sees this one person that's a paramedic. The paramedic is like, you can't help me. Like, just go, I got this. And he's helpless. Even with all his power, you get to empathize and understand what's going on with him. A lot of people said that when the theatrical version came out, that death was not owed. Like, they didn't do the due diligence of getting him to the point of giving us the death of Superman. But looking at the Ultimate Edition, for me, I was able to really sympathize and feel heart with it. I was looking at it with my girlfriend. It's her first time even watching it. She was like, I feel bad. I don't want him to die. Even though I know she got spoiled early on that he was going to die. But looking at it through the Ultimate Edition, she was like, man, I really feel for this moment. And so I think that in that regard, this is more of a balanced film of Batman and Superman. And everybody's role actually makes more sense. Even Dylan Maloney that's actually working for Star Labs, that's going to play more into like the Justice League a little bit later on. I don't think she's a Batgirl.
All right.
And
you guys are at the 4 minute and 7 seconds mark.
Yeah, and if you got anything more to add, John, for me, I think that those that in general like the movie or even were kind of on the fence with the movie, this will extend that for them. But if those that didn't like it at all and they hated the movie, that's not going to change them because they already gone off a personal bias of what it meant for them. But I don't know. You got anything to regard to that?
No, that's all I can say about what I think of the Ultimate Edition. So yeah, I guess Jor-El, that ends our points.
All right, we can always end early. You guys were at about 4 minutes and 39 seconds. All right, and team, I guess one thing I will add for myself, I'll just speak for 50 seconds, but or less. But one thing I will say is that I know John Schnepp, who's a well-known, just huge geek, and I don't know if he's directed anything, but he's been a producer of Bond. Well, he's directed Superman Lives. Yeah. I know he directed that actually, which is a documentary about this lost, forgotten Tim Burton Superman film that never happened. That was going to star Nicolas Cage, which, Jesus, that would be interesting. But John Schnepp hated the film. I mean, this fool bashes that movie all the time. But when he saw the Ultimate Edition, he really likes it now. So it's just worth mentioning. All right, so Team Red, negatives. Your guys' time now goes right now. Go.
All right.
And if you need me to repeat the main question, just let me know.
All right. I guess for me, I don't hate the movie per se. I guess it's just I'm frustrated. Probably watching this edition, I'm less frustrated, but it's still, my ultimate thing is it still doesn't fix the third act per se. While the movie does do a good job of explaining Lex Luthor's motivations in full, which is a welcome addition, and we get Clark actually investigating, knowing who Batman is, just fleshing out certain things, it still doesn't fix the third plot point, that third act of the movie. It doesn't fix it, because to me, the fact that the movie all of a sudden goes into death in Return of Superman is just still to me ridiculous. Like, the movie didn't earn that. It really did not earn that. It did not earn death in Return of Superman. You want to do Doomsday, fine. I mean, cool, fine. But again, there was just a lot of things in that third act. It's like, all right, I guess if you want to do Death and Return of Superman, fine, I guess, whatever, But yeah, that's my only gripe and stuff, if anything, So.
All right, my turn then. All right, all right. So the thing is, the reason why people dislike Batman v Superman was they expected an ideological battle between Batman and Superman. They wanted to see, just like in The Dark Knight Returns, where it was these two ideologies similar to Professor X and Magneto. They wanted to see that with Batman and Superman. We still didn't get that from this Ultimate Edition, and that's something that people were expecting because of the influence of The Dark Knight Returns. But it still is like because he had to save his mom. That's something that people are still going to be bothered by, even though the moment was emotional for me. That's still something people are still going to hate. Jesse Eisenberg, even in this Ultimate Edition, he's still miscast in this movie. He is not Lex Luthor. The best Lex Luthor was the one in the animated series when he was voiced by that one guy, I forgot his name. He
Clancy
was
Brown.
the best. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, there's some plot holes that in the movie that still are not fixed. How did Superman know that Batman was Bruce Wayne? Some might argue that it was because of the scene when they're in Lex Luthor's party and hears the headpiece, but still, he never said Batman in that conversation at all. So there's still that plot point, and one of the things that I think is another negative that people are not going to accept is that that's a Superman. Some people think it should have been one movie, and they shouldn't have done it, and they feel like it was too rushed. They should have had a Batman movie before this movie should have come out, so they could had all those plot holes out the way of the Robin, of Batman retiring, and then the end of that movie should have been the ending of Man of Steel. So that there was too much crammed into this movie that should have should have been feel rushed.
Can I add in the fact that Robin is wielding a battle axe in that display case? I just noticed.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, hold up. And I know there was another guy that I podcast with. He mentioned it in his review. He was like, if Robin is wielding a battle axe, does that mean that Joker had probable cause to kill him? I mean, you know,
wait.
saying.
Can you repeat that? What was that?
I was like, if Robin is wielding a battle axe, does that mean Joker had probable cause? I mean, dude comes at you with the battle axe. I mean, shit, I kill him too.
Damn.
You know that?
Well, he must have had a reason to bring that damn.
A battle axe. I'm like, last I checked, Robin had a staff, but okay. But that was another thing too. That I think this movie didn't earn is why would you put the Flash in a crisis situation in Bruce's dream?
By the way, you guys are at the 4-minute mark. Just let you know.
Yeah. It's just that was another thing. It's like, okay, he has his dream, fine, cool, but you have the Flash coming back and giving a crisis situation. This doesn't make sense. Like, why is it there? Like, I was fine with the dream, but that Flash saying Lois is the why? Why did you have to put that in there? And like I said, Snyder said he put it in there because reasons. You know. But like I said, that was like there was no reason for putting. I mean, I know a lot of people had problems with the Wonder Woman looking at pretty much the preview of the other Justice League people, but I thought I thought it was fine, but it was just like, okay, I guess. All right. I mean.
All right.
Yeah.
And you guys are about at the 5-minute mark. I think I have a sense of how this is going to work. So. But
it worked. That's my gripes. It's just those things just kind of just stuck out to me and stuff.
I mean, did y'all answer the question though?
No, I answered the question. That's our negatives. That's my negative.
We still got 2 more rounds. I think I have a feeling of how this is going to go. Okay, so Team Blue, you guys are going to go again. I'm going to interject from here on out, here and there, just to give more fuel to the fire, I guess. And let's take you guys down to about 4 minutes this time. Starting now.
Oh, sorry, what's the question?
Wait, what's the question?
It's still the same one. Same one.
Oh, same one?
Mm-hmm. It's
Positives.
the same one.
So it's on us now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I guess I'll help you guys out a little bit. I mean, for me, one of the biggest positives is I know this has been heavily implied, but like the film just flows better to me. Like it feels more like non-headache inducing, I guess. With and one thing that I thought was a really large component to helping it flow better was the Africa sequence. Like the context that they gave to that African woman who like was being paid to lie, you know. I thought that added more depth to the film. And did a better job of, I guess, showcasing like the public's viewpoint of Superman, I guess.
Yeah, no, I totally, I can piggyback off of that because a lot of people that were giving me a lot of negatives when I was doing my review about the theatrical version, it was really subjective. It was their own personal perspective of where these characters should be, not so much the film itself. And it was like, after seeing this one, a lot of them have come back to me as like, okay, seeing what happened with Scott McNeary's character, just for instance, of like everybody's suspecting he set this all up and intentionally wanted to die. When you find out, like Lois investigated and found out, like he had no idea. Like even like he was packing for the next day, he didn't know. And so it flushes out two different things. Like for me, all the ins and outs about why the desert plane happened, why like Clark Kent got those letters in the mail, like why Bruce was like intentionally, he was like telling his staff like, why did I not know about this? And a lot of people didn't catch it the first time around. It was like, okay, you know, did this really happen? Did he actually do it, or did Lex do it? And they didn't know that moment when they were on the roof together, him and Clark, that, oh, I just wanted to send those to Bruce to set him off. You know, it's really showed like the depths of his madness and sickness. Now, should have been a different Lex Luthor. That's debatable. That's semantics. Yeah. But I will say that the final sequence with Batman and with Lex Luthor and him going to Arkham potentially, that leads into so many different things that to me platform not just Suicide Squad, but also the Justice League in a lot of different finite ways. But I mean, there's a lot of different things for me about that dream sequence that just don't make sense necessarily still, because was it a dream or was it something that was imparted to Bruce that he just kind of forgot? Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, it was like it's something that substantially actually happened. It's just their interpretation of how it happened.
Sure.
But there's a lot of extended moments that even in that dream sequence, it was like I could tell, like, you know, the authority that Batman holds there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just so many different things of just adding in just small amount of things that, for me, I had more of an issue with WB for cutting these things out. Mm-hmm. I understand it like being a long movie, and I think me and Jor-Els have even said, like, man, it is really long-winded. But to get an all-around better flowing film, for them to, whoever did the editing did a poor job of just editing precise things with Batman and developmental plot things. Yeah. Don, you got anything more of that, Blackwing?
Pretty much. I mean, yes. After I watched the theatrical movie, I mean, I was just hyped that I saw this movie because I was so hyped to see it. But then, of course, a couple days passed. There were some things that had me scratching my head, like, wait, what really happened, like, in the movie? Because I'm like, when I reviewed this movie, I was just going straight out saying I loved it, what I loved about it. I didn't really give my full dislikes about it because I just saw it one time. But like you saw it like probably like once or twice, four times. So you saw it 4 times, so you were able to analyze what was missing. After hearing what other people's opinions are saying, and then it came back to me saying, yeah, that was really missing as well. But yeah, to the fact of what was missing, like with the whole desert sequence, seeing that Luthor paid the African woman to do all those things, and that's something you realize that's something Lex would do. Mm-hmm. And then the whole thing with the hearing with the explosive and having the chair being lined up with lead, because it's saying Superman could not see through lead.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was like my aha moment.
That was
like,
a good positive.
Here we go.
That was a good positive. I'm gonna stop you there, and let's switch over to the red team. Give you guys about 4 minutes as well, and starting now. I'm gonna lead off with something actually, because this is one negative that's been just driving me fucking
all right,
kind of crazy. Like, it doesn't have to be like the whole time, but there's just one thing I want to see what you guys thought about. Like, does Lex really, is his motives really clear? I feel like they're not. I mean, his plan, like the Ultimate Edition did a great job of making his plans like more coherent, but like to me, is his motives really sound or obvious?
What do you mean by sound? Are you talking, is there like a legit reason?
Like his reasoning for wanting to send the bad checks, for setting up that African situation, like his want to take down this god Superman. Like, is his motives clear?
Well, I mean, I've always sat there and said it best. I mean, Lex Luthor doesn't need to have a rhyme or reason. If he hates Superman, he hates Superman, and his whole logic was, hey, look, I don't like the guy. I'd rather have somebody that I can control, and fuck it, I'm just gonna do what I gotta do. So, I guess for me, I think you know what it is. if it was somebody that wasn't Jesse Eisenberg, I think people would not be on Lex as much.
Mm-hmm.
I think my issue with Lex is, as much as I love the millennial angle of him, Lex Luthor Jr. and all that stuff, I thought was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Dude did a lot of questionable things, i.e., I'm going to feed this guy Jolly Ranchers in his mouth, which was totally unnecessary.
That was so bad. That was so bad.
It's Cherry. Oh my god.
That was terrible.
Like the build up that conversation was cool because the guy clearly was like, "All right, I'm gonna work for Lex. What do you need?" And then it's like, "Okay, why are you feeding him?" Okay, then the idea that Lex puts his blood on Zod, and it didn't amount to nothing.
And why did he create Stay?
You don't think so? You don't think so?
It didn't amount to anything because you're under the assumption that, okay, if you're putting human blood in that there should be some measure of control for Doomsday, and nothing. That's the thing. If you're going to input human DNA in it, there should be some sort of like, okay, maybe I can control this thing to a point, but nothing.
I think it was let off though, for sure. Yeah, because the thing about Lex is the scene when he talks to Superman on top of the LexCorp building, and he says, if God is all powerful, he cannot be all good. If he is all good, then he cannot be all powerful. That was a scene where I was like, oh, so that's probably what was his main focus, because he said he's an orphan, and he has, I feel like, because there was some rumors a couple months ago saying that this Lex Luthor is an orphan. He grew up, poor, and he had to work his way up, and then this Superman character pops up, and he's not which has always been a thing in the comics where he wants to be the number one guy in the city, and the thing I think, and especially from this Ultimate guy, I think he was more motivated because of the communion scene where you see Steppenwolf, and he appears to him, and he's like teaching him all this information. I think that was the scene where you think he was let off to believe in something else. He thought that, I think his intentions were good in his own kind of like mindset, that he was actually gonna like do good and take away Superman, who is this alien threat, and Batman, who people love, and he wanted to just take them out for like forever. That was my take from Lex. Are we still on positives? I'm sorry, I'm so confused.
Still on negatives, but
okay, negatives.
That the thing you brought about the blood is interesting. I've never thought about it.
I'm just saying, it makes sense because it's like you're under the assumption that if you introduce, because like I said, you have Zod, and then you put him inside the rejuvenation thing, and it's like, okay, but if you're putting human blood in it, shouldn't you be able to control Doomsday? Because otherwise, it's like, what's the point?
Okay, all right, we will stop there, and we are about to enter our the final round, and I think it's probably a good idea to keep it at 5 minutes and 5 minutes, because I'm going to be jumping in. I got some things to say. My God. But let's go to, let's start with the positives, starting now. Sam, I'll let you go first, because it looks like you had something urgent to say, positive-wise.
Yeah, from my perspective, to just comment on what CJ is saying about like the blood, when she was talking to him about the Genesis Chamber, one of the first things that he actually asked her to do was impart to me the knowledge about the universe, how this whole Genesis Chamber even works. So for me, it needed and required something that was living tissue and a living antibody to be able to be the catalyst to actually platform him to actually come back to life. I don't think that Lex cared about living or dying, because the fact was, when Superman came down, he was like, you know what, I got a trump card. Regardless if I die or not, this is your death, and that's all I really care about. Because, like, Doomsday went and punched at him. He knew full well he's about to die, and I don't think there was no need that he wanted for control. He just wanted him to be a fixed point to kill Superman. And I think that's one of the biggest things as far as his motivation. It was from, like you said, he's got an inferiority complex. He's got a lot of psychological breaks. He's probably dealt with a lot of different abuses. And I think from his mind and his heart, he needs to feel in control, and he needs to feel above. And, like, there's no one that can be above Superman. Like, even when I saw him actually interacting with General Zod personally, I was like, why is he getting so emotional? He understands that Zod had true power. Like, he could do whatever he wanted, and he wanted to actually have a manifestation of that. And I think he saw him in a high esteem, even though he kind of saw him as this creature. Like, he saw him as this, this one powerful being that he wanted to tap that greatness, so to speak. And I might be reaching a little bit from a comic book perspective. But I can definitely tell you that with him cutting, I don't think he wanted to actually have any manipulative or control over it. But I think that he needed that catalyst to actually get his body going. Because when he had said it's like blood of my blood, is going to be, the thing that's going to be your own doom. But I mean, I will say this, and this is going on in a negative. The third act is the weakest part because honestly, the death of Superman could have been another movie. I will totally agree with you on that. That in terms of, I was thinking what they were going to do, they were going to pull a Smallville on us. They were going to go and push this dude down to the core of the earth, like stop him. And it wasn't gonna die. I literally, the first time I watched, I was surprised. I was like, "Oh wow, they actually killed him! Like, why did you waste that opportunity?"
Well,
the problem is that
to keep on the positives.
all right.
It's the final round. But keep on the positives. I will say though, like his death, even though I'll probably get into this with the negatives, but I like that Zach had the balls to go there.
Exactly, that's what I was going to lead off on.
I thought that was a good reflection of like what's to come, especially if there's more refinement to whatever more DC films he directs. He's got a pair of balls. It's good, boldness. Because like when Superman was just killed, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, like everybody was kind of shocked the first time they actually watched it. They weren't spoiled. But I mean, one thing I'll say about the Ultimate Edition, and I'll let back when we finish it off, is that the funeral sequence and watching everybody in Metropolis just gone, like, and it was like, this is the comic book I remember. And even when seeing at the farm, seeing Pete Ross, seeing the preacher that he interacted with, the first person he actually came out to, and actually seeing his mother just disintegrate, like we didn't get those moments fleshed out in the theatrical version. I was like, why did this not happen? It added more weight and value to the actual death. But you got anything more to comment on, Blackwing?
Yeah, just to touch upon what CJ was saying, when he said like the whole blood thing and the mind control thing, it reminded me of how Superboy's character is, how Superboy is half Superman, half Lex Luthor. That's one thing that came to mind. Now, the funeral sequence and the whole death of Superman, seeing the whole thing with everyone in Metropolis gone, it made you feel the pain because everyone knows when that comic's like the most monumental comic in history.
Yeah.
And everyone still remembers that. Yep. And just have everyone feel the pain of Superman dying and then having that memorial, doing it the right way, especially having Pete Ross and the preacher and everyone that Clark interacted with. Yeah. It made more sense because we didn't get that in the theatrical version. I think in the theatrical version, it just cut to the house and you just see Martha and Lois in mourning clothes, and that was it. And then it just cut to the scene where they're driving the body into the grave, and that was it. Here we actually understand what was going on.
Well, the thing too is also just as a positive, real quick, is the fact that you see the impact in the fact that the whole city of Metropolis is empty. Everybody went to his funeral.
Oh yeah,
And then, like I said, why did that not make the theatrical cut? Because that shows you the impact. It isn't just, oh well, people at his funeral. People might have just been chilling at home watching on TV. Like no, everybody left to go see that funeral. Like they were there.
Man,
so
Team Negative being nice for a second. Real dang. One thing, the time is up, by the way, for Team Positive. One thing I do want to say real quick as a final positive is that fucking Batman. Like, Batman, Ben Affleck's Batman was just fucking fantastic. And, like, I thought he just did such a fantastic job. And all of the Batman moments were great. But, unfortunately, there's a negative. So, let's get to the final 5 minutes on the negatives, starting now. All right, negatives. Look, I don't. Oh man. Fuck. Oh, I was
Martha.
Yes, dude. I'm sorry. You know what I think it is. Why that moment does not work for me. The Martha moment. It's how he looks. It's visually. I think that's why it doesn't work. Because I've been thinking about this concept wise. I think it's okay, sort of, but like visually, Ben Affleck with this big ass bulky helmet on and this ugly tear so you can see part of his human face,
and his voice is modulated, and him being like, "Why'd you say that name?" Like, I can't take it seriously. I start laughing. Some guy was crying. Some dude was crying on some blog like, "The poor baby's so emotional." I was cracking up on every time I see it.
You know what, man? I am not gonna. I will not knock anybody that felt some sort of way. But
No, me neither.
At the same time, I'm just sitting back like, bruh, like that shit wasn't that serious.
No, this dude's
That's
like,
the same way how people felt when Christian Bale was saying, "Where is it?"
Like you know what? I felt like an idiot to not. Like I said, you read Superman and Batman comics for so many years that you feel stupid not to put two and two together that both of their moms were Martha, and it's like, oh shit, it was Martha
I
Kent.
just like,
God damn it.
like really.
But yeah, what'd you guys think about that part, negative wise? I mean, was that a part that really irked you, or?
Well, when you like, okay, so I laughed at the Martha line just because I didn't put two and two together and stuff. But what really pissed me off a little bit was just like when you turn around and you watch. Okay, see, you know, I didn't want to relegate to that because I know a lot of people do. You turn around and watch Civil War, where the connection there was, oh shit, he killed my mom. But the movie earned that, you know, in a sense that it's like, oh, it was building up to that point. With this, it was just like, oh, don't forget to, you know, that's the thing that kind of just miffed me and stuff. It was just like, if it's one of those things where the dialogue and how things went could have been changed. Like, you could have easily said, Soups could have easily said, hey, look, they got my mom. Lex told me to come here to kill you. And you could have still had the whole Batman looking at him like, yeah, get the hell out of here. I'm still going to kill you. Let's do this. And I would have been fine with that. Because at least then it would have been like, oh, Batman's just being irrational. He ain't listening. Okay, fine. You know, but that's the problem. It's just, like, you saw Superman try, but he didn't outright say what it was. It was just, he's just there.
I mean, do you think he could have, like, given like how much kryptonite like he had been exposed to? Like,
yeah, I mean, a little dialogue.
You know you about to die. Like, are you gonna be like, save my mom? I mean, I'm just saying. Like, tell me, what would you say if you're literally dying? I'm just saying. I'm sorry.
You know what? Well, first off, before I get to that point, we were about to approach the 3-minute mark. Anthony, what are your thoughts about?
Oh, okay. My negatives. The negative about that scene is there was no resolution. It became a meme, like the next hour after that scene. Like, oh, your mom's named Martha. My mom's named Martha. Did we just become best friends? Yeah, that's the thing. And there was like no dialogue that they had. They're like, oh, Lex tried to manipulate us. Like, at least if you're gonna have that scene, at least have us have some kind of conversation with Batman. But they only had like a couple of lines, like with each other.
Oh yeah,
so
Batman went full tilt. I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Yeah, exactly. So like, at least have Batman explain himself, because in the comics, one of the most important friendships ever is the relationship between Batman and Superman. So at least give us some dialogue and like let them have some kind of like resolution and begin the friendship, because next movie is gonna be Justice League. So might as well give us some kind of like importance, like even in the ending in the funeral, he's like, I failed him in life, and then when he saves Martha, he's like, I'm a friend of your son's. I'm like, you legit just tried to kill him less than 5 minutes ago.
That's a good point. Yeah,
like, I don't get that.
Holy shit! I've never. That's kudos. I've not thought about that. Damn, that was a really good point actually.
And Batman's killing everybody. That's another negative.
Chris, what do you think about one thing I do want to say really quick. One thing that I hated, and that I think people who hated the theatrical edition, I don't think they're going to get over this with the Ultimate Edition, is when Batman and Superman first meet to fight, like, Superman barely tries. It's just like, hey, listen, this probably isn't a good idea, and then like Batman does some stuff to him and he just starts throwing them through the building like a boomerang or some shit. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, Batman, you should just like grab this person and be like, look, nigga, we need to stop. Listen to me, damn it. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God.
You just keep on fighting.
But anyways, backing up real quick, I guess, Chris, would you one thing we could leave off with, because we're max of time. What did you think about Batman, just flat out murdering people?
I felt that Batman was a product of where the world was at, pretty much, where it's just like, from what I'm gathering of the movie, he's been kind of out of the spotlight for a while and stuff, but like he's been back on the spotlight since, I guess, post Superman arrived, onto the planet, I guess. I don't know if that's another thing the movie didn't really do a good job of. Like, did Batman retire? Or did he come back? How long? But I felt that Batman doing what he did was just a product of just the environment and just where he was at mentally. Just kind of like, I'm just fed up with the shit. This is what's going to happen. But I was fine. I like, the car chase and stuff where he's flipping the car over. And it's like, really? Okay. It didn't bug me. I'm not even going to pretend like it bugged me. It didn't. I was just like, this is badass and stuff.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the Arkham fight at the end where I was like, well, he's killing people. Hey, they deserved it. Whatever. I mean, shit, do what you gotta do, man. But I do like at the end he kind of eased up a bit where it's in. I guess the producers even pointed out and said in Justice League you're going to get the Batman that probably doesn't kill and probably just incapacitates you and that's it. So.
Okay. Well, that is the final round here.
All right. So, what do you think? The haters of the theatrical edition, do you think they'll change their minds when they watch the Ultimate Edition? And who do you think did a better job of conveying their opinions? Team Red or Team Blue? Go to the comment section down below and press like on one of the two options. All right? Let us know. Let us know which team do you think did a better job with their opinions. And do you think the haters will change their minds? Let us know down below. And of course, what do you think about this first episode of Movie Debates? Let us know. I'm out.